Welcome to Beyond Six Figures, the podcast that helps business coaches to micro-niche, get noticed, and become fully booked. Learn from top industry leaders who've successfully taken their businesses and their lives beyond six figures. Get ready to level up your coaching business and make this world a better place, one business at a time. And now, here's your host, Ziv Raviv.
Hello and welcome to Beyond Six Figures. Today's guest is someone who truly embodies the bridge between heart, energy, and leadership. Pia Jansson is a transformational business and leadership coach with over 3 decades of experience in corporate environments. She's a certified professional co-active coach and energy leadership master practitioner and a strategic interventions coach. And she's helped countless visionaries, entrepreneurs, and high performers unlock the mindset, energy, and inner alignment needed to lead with authenticity and impact. Pia doesn't believe in cookie-cutter success. Instead, she guides her clients to create from a place of truth, intuition, and joy, balancing business growth with personal fulfillment. In today's conversation, we're going to dive into mindset traps and keep leaders stuck. Now to the interview itself. Here is Pia Jansson. Welcome to Beyond Six Figures. Hello, Pia.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction.
Thank you. These days, it's easier than ever to research and to check things out about people with a little bit of help of ChatGPT, of course.
Yeah.
So did I say anything that was inaccurate?
No. All good.
It's sometimes confusing because you don't know who to believe these days with AI. But this is something that we've been looking at your work and we were excited to feature you. So first of all, like co-active coaching, give us like the 1-minute opinion. As a certified coach, would you recommend it for other coaches? Is that something that is like the main framework that you're using? What's your opinion on that?
Well, when it comes to coaching, how I define it is talent-focused leadership, right? Shifting the conversation completely, and it's holistic. It's really, I say, like I help small, medium-sized business leaders align who they are with how they lead. That's like the nut of it all, right? So when you tap into your talents and operate from that perspective, you shift the conversation, not only for yourself, but of everyone around you. So that's like the basis of everything. And everything that I look at is through the lens of talents, your innate talents, that is. Does that make sense?
It does. And is that a big focus of the co-active framework, or is that something that you decided to focus on?
Well, it came from me becoming a Gallup certified strength coach. So that's when that shifted the conversation for me as well, because I implemented it at the workplace that I was at the time. And I saw how that shifted, not only for myself, but also for everyone else. It's life-changing. Because when you change the perspective and you look at people through the lens of strengths, you see things that you can utilize people better, right? You can create teams, build businesses, and starting from when you're a solopreneur and then hire people that complement their talents. And I'm talking about talents from the perspective of how you do stuff, such as you're a talker, right? It's like many people heard all these things like we're too much of when we're kids growing up, and people say, shut up, you talk too much. No, put that kid in some training on how they can utilize this talent that they have of talking, become a speaker, whatever it is, however they want to utilize it. So that's kind of like the concept. So we see the world in different ways. And it's about building teams where you basically can get a 360. And as a leader, when you understand the untapped resources, if you take away just for a moment education and skills and experience, and focus on what the individual brings with them just by being who they are, you open up a big box of great opportunities and possibilities. And that's my focus in everything, possibilities on everyone has possibilities that are untapped.
So focusing on talents or superpowers, if you will, rather than focusing on some like on weaknesses. And you mentioned trying to get to a 360. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so the 360 is basically like if you as a leader, let's say you have all these things that you need to do as part of your role. It could be that you have to review contracts, let's say, and you get so drained doing that. You're like, oh God, I have to do it. But then you have someone on the team that is super anal with grammar or loves simply like anything that you would define as bureaucratic. Well, what if you delegated that to that person? It could be partially, just to read through, see what you find. It could be completely just handing over certain parts of your job to people that love doing what you do. But with that, you free up time to do more of what you really love. And that's really the concept. So when you hire your team, you look at like, what is the thing that we're missing? You look at it. It's basically, if you have a team of 5, you can see like, oh, we are very influential. We're good at building relationships, but we're really bad at executing or thinking and strategizing long term. Maybe we need someone that can add that to the team. So if you find someone that has that, in addition to the skills and expertise, et cetera, that you're looking for, then help you have a well-rounded team. So I look at the 360s as base it on what you actually have going for you. Like in sports, we do it, right? It's a given that they place the players where they can make the biggest impact and where they can excel. Why don't we do it in business? Why do we focus on weaknesses? People don't feel good,
Yeah. So actually you focus on trying to see the bigger picture, seeing the forest, not just the trees. And one man's strengths and weaknesses might actually impact the tasks of his team in a way that complements him or her. And I understand that now better. So tell me a little bit about your ideal client. Like in these days, what are the type of people that you are excited to start working with, or maybe who are the type of people that you say no to?
Yeah, because my experience for the past 35 plus years has been in entrepreneurial companies that I've been part of, from everything from startup, early stages, up to scaling to bigger companies. I focus on small, medium-sized businesses. And the last 30 years or so, before I went out on my own, I was in a sales organization. So I love working with sales leaders. And those sales leaders can range from directors up to C-suite, because it's kind of different stages of their career. So that's basically my focus. And for me, it's also like it's the personality type. And it's also because of having worked with salespeople for many years, they don't always have the degrees, right? So there's like, some people look down on salespeople, and yet every organization needs salespeople. Without it, you don't grow. So that's why I have extra passion for that. And so people that are open to grow, people that are curious, and that's most of the salespeople, they don't even know how good they are, the talents that they have. So that's what I learned with the people that I worked with, when they got like, wow, I'm special, I'm unique at this. Wow. It's like it shifts the conversation and it shifts the dynamics in the company as well when you focus on strengths, right? Because when people are operating in their zone or in their power zone with their inner gold, as I like to say, that's when you create a very engaged company, which is a big issue.
So working with salespeople, that's something you're very experienced with. How do you get to the point where they actually know about you? Is it something that they learn by themselves? Is it a decision made by the CEO or the HR to hire a coach for their sales team?
I think it's a blend of them all, so to speak, right? So for some people, it will be a company sponsored thing. For others, it's HR that want to engage in that. I think it depends on, I would say that it depends on the size of the company, right? like I introduced it in the old company that I was in because I became a coach and I offered it free of charge to the people that wanted to do it. But, there's people that will invest with their own funds as well. That's what I've done for the majority of my life. So I know that there's people like me that will be willing to do it. They're not waiting for the company to do it. And I think especially sales is always based on how good you are at selling, right? If you're not hitting your targets, it hurts. There's a lot of prestige with it, etc. So whether you're a company or an individual, that's when you need to invest in people because it could turn everything around.
How do those salespeople find out about you usually?
I would say it's probably in the different groups. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn a lot. So I'm in a couple of groups that are sales leader focused or sales focused. But otherwise, it's out networking in person because most of them are not. They glance through social media, but not necessarily as much as I am.
Yes, and that's true for many of us coaches. So what type of in-person live events do you focus on to meet those salespeople?
It's local. Like Alignable has one that I'm going to. Like it's networking, not only with trying to find the salespeople, but it's also with other entrepreneurs because if you have the same target group, then you can partner up with people that are focusing on other things, so to speak, than what you're doing, right? So you're not in competition, but you can partner up. And I think that's something that I need to do more often. I am going to a meeting this week, so I'm looking forward to that. It's been a little weird after 2020, so to speak. The game has changed, right? Because everything ended up being online. And that's obviously where I spend most of my time as well. But and you can have great sessions, obviously, with people online. But I do both. I mean, yeah, right now, online is my focus with some in-person networking.
Tell me a little bit about your experience in selling. So when you try to sell to a salesperson, they can see through everything. They can see through the process. It's a little bit different, isn't it? How do you get to the point where you actually sell your coaching service?
Well, I mean, I think everything is a conversation, right? So it's more about having a conversation with people and looking at like, how are things in life, not just business, because what's happening in your personal life affects your business as well, right? So I think it's through conversation, just like they would explore when they're with a customer, of looking at like, what are the needs? And then you can present a person with what you have, like if they're interested, because I don't believe in pushing something on people. I believe in just having a no obligation type of conversation with people to determine if they're actually ready. Because it could be that they just need to know a little, and then it's something that you follow up with down the line. So for me, I would say it's not a one thing. For me, I'm very intuitive. So I tune into the person and just see if there's something that they're willing to invest. It is sometimes a little out there for some people, right, to do coaching because people don't know what coaching is. So having a conversation can also be like, it would be something like this. This is how it would be. I would talk less, but we would be exploring blah, 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 and just explain a little about what the journey would look like, depending on what their needs are. And so I don't see it being different with a salesperson. But maybe it's just because I've been in that environment. So for me, it's easier to talk to them maybe than other people that would have a different personality type.
I think that you had me from the beginning from saying like that we talk. You don't consider it selling. And so it feels a little bit more authentic. And authenticity is something that you talk about and you care about a lot, I think. So sometimes it's hard to understand what does it mean be authentic for a business coach and for the clients of a business coach. They sometimes don't know what to do next. They have a dilemma, they have a conflict, maybe even a bleeding neck of sorts. How do you help people guide into their authentic self?
Well, it starts with the strengths, right? With this talent focus. So they take an assessment, right? So we start with that as the foundation. And then I go over things like your personal brand, your money conversations, because all of that is part of who you are. But that's just a tiny portion because you have, as I mentioned before, your skills, your education, your profession, etc. It's just a tiny little piece. But for me, it's all about being yourself ultimately, right? So even like now, I'm casually dressed because that is part of my MO that I've studied a lot with my personal expression. So I have to lead by example. Yeah, being sleeveless, ooh, maybe that's not the way it goes in corporate America, but I have to be true to myself. So it's the same with them. So I will have those conversations in a similar way to when you speak of talents. It's like, what are the clothes that make you feel like a rock star? The colors that make you that people compliment you on. What is your signature, right? It's just exploring again in conversation with that. And I can obviously guide them as well. And then that becomes part of their brand, right? Of like, oh yeah, here comes this person. And yeah, oh wow, he or she wears this and that. And that becomes part of something that just enhances what's on the inside, on the outside.
You co-authored chapters into like collections of books. And that's something that we sometimes, as coaches, we see opportunities for doing that type of activities. Was that a positive experience for you? And did it get you anything?
Well, it gave me, I mean, especially the last one, because two of the books, they were like energy related when I was doing some energy explore, another modality than I practice today. I still do energy work, but it's not with them. I was a co-author in 3 books. So 2 of them were energy, and the other one was a talent-focused one. I don't know if I got many clients out of it, but I got a lot of PR because we were doing a lot of PR, and I helped edit it all. So I got to read and really engage into the different stories of the other authors. So that was a super fun project to be part of. So I got all the stories. I really got the importance and the difference it makes for every individual, because all these coaches that were part of the book had different target audiences. And that was really powerful. But I definitely believe in the books. And I remember after I did that last one, it's like, one of these days I'm going to do 1 book or 2 or whatever that I author completely on my own. Because it's a fun process. How about you? Your book, I know you have coming up. Is that completely you, or is it with several other people?
Actually, it was something I've been working on all by myself for 2 years before I launched it. It's already available on Amazon. It's been a tremendously positive experience because I literally documented everything I know, all of my processes and so on. So it became almost like a guidebook where I would sometimes in a coaching session, working with someone that is trying to get into coaching, I would say, okay, now let's focus about this chapter and I need to read these bits. And I think that when you teach and when you get ready to teach and when you prepare your material, and writing a book is a lot about that, in the business books are educational by nature, then you just become more sharp in your understanding. So I can see how like you editing a book like that and being entrenched into the details of a book about leadership, that will make you a better coach on leadership, period.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
learn in many different ways. So that's awesome. So congratulations. I'll check out your book then, because that sounds like that. It sounds like your legacy, right? And isn't that what it is? I mean, we want to leave a legacy because otherwise, why be here, right? And it doesn't have to be a large scale. It can be small, just making a difference. And I think many of us that are coaches, we're driven by that for sure.
I noticed also you do a lot on LinkedIn. Like you share ideas and tools. And tell me a little bit about how does that work for you? What do you get out of it?
Well, for me, it's been a process also. Like I've blogged since, 2012 or what have you. So as you know, what we say, we keep thinking like, oh my gosh, I've talked about this before. But the thing is that not everyone has seen what we've done. So I did blogging for a long time, and then I started changing it up a couple of years ago and try out like some themes, if you will. So for me, it's more like I use ChatGPT. That's a good brainstorming partner to just outline kind of like, what do I want to talk about for each quarter? And then I try to look at also what's happening around me in the world as well. And I love doing videos. And I just recently started up with that because for years I would be like, oh, I don't know. It's like easy to sit and talk to someone when someone asks a question. But before ChatGPT, I think I was also sitting too much in my own vacuum, so to speak, of like, I don't know if they're going to be interested in it. So having now done it and gone through the process, also most important, of transitioning from corporate into an entrepreneurship, like there's a lot of beliefs to shed in the process, right? Of really showing up as who you are, because it's a very conservative platform, but there's billions of people on it now with different directions, so to speak, right? So I was just like, I just reached the point, like, I don't care what people think. They can think what they want. I'm just going to have fun with it. So it's kind of like with your book, like there will be small snippets of things that I've experienced, things that I want to share. And unfortunately, I guess LinkedIn is not the best platform for engagement, or I haven't figured out the pearl or the format, but that will come, so to speak. It's still an energy thing. And I know for myself that the people that I followed on LinkedIn, for instance, that do videos, that's the people that I would just book a call or I would just buy something, because you get to know people, you get their energy, so to speak, and you get if that vibe fits you or not before even having a formal call. So that's what I see the power to be. What platforms do you find good for what you're doing, Siv?
I actually consider podcasting as my number one relationship building platform. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, where I will go into an industry, create a podcast in that micro niche, and just build relationship through listening and lead by listening, if you will. For a long time, I found Facebook groups to be a place of engagement. These days, or in the past, I don't know, something like 1 to 2 years, it's not what it used to be. Facebook changed their focus, and they're not showing like basically the open rates, if you will, of a Facebook post has went down to 5% and under, even with thousands of people in the group. So they only want engagement these days. And so it's not as efficient as it used to. Honestly, I think that these days, with all of the noise, it's not about the platform anymore. It's about the relationships.
Yeah.
You have to focus on people. You have to focus on building up relationships. It's not about you. It's about the problems that you help solve, the cause. And when you lead with that, you create relationships that actually make sense. That's what I experience.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask you about where can people go if they want to connect with you and learn more about what you do?
I think the easiest way is probably my website, because I have social links at the bottom of each page. So piajansson.com. Can you put that in the show note?
I'm going to put that into the show notes. And I call you Pia Jansson because I'm not aware of the pronunciation in Sweden. I apologize. So Pia Jansson, but actually it's Pia Jansson, Jansson.
Both are actually correct, Siv, because if I said it in Swedish, it would be one way, and the American way.
Really?
I say Jansson just because when people get it. If I said Jansson, which is what I would say in Swedish,
Jansson,
they would spell it completely different.
I apologize. This is so good. Pia Jansson, PiaJansson.com. We'll put that in the show notes, including the link to your LinkedIn, which I think is actually very inspiring to see the choices that you make on content, on messaging. It actually feels like a free party where you can learn a lot from Pia's ways. I really admire how you see the leadership and talents and energy of people. You are 360 in everything you do. It's just so fun to see the way that you communicate. So I highly recommend people check it out, and all of the links will be in the show notes. Thank you again, Pia Jansson. I hope I...
Yeah, now you do the Swedish. That's
and thank you everyone for listening to another episode of Beyond Six Figures.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Six Figures. Check out the extended show notes that include bonus material, practical tips, and exclusive resources on our website, zivraviv.com. Until next time, keep dreaming big and pushing your business and your life beyond six figures.